What's up, guys? My name is Jesse and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm gonna share 5 reasons why you should read. Alright, so let's go ahead and dive in. Alright guys, so a quick little background on how I actually started reading more books. So back in 2020, when I was making the transition into education, I actually had to, catch up and brush up on my history topics. All right. And the reason is because those are the subjects that I wanted to teach in high school and middle school. So those are the materials I had to study to pass the content exam and of course become a full certified teacher. So I was reading textbooks, websites, blogs, looking at videos, but reading a whole bunch. It kind of felt like I was back in that atmosphere in college, right? So, but yeah, prior to that, the last time I read was when I actually graduated from college. It was in 2018 when I submitted my the last paper that I had to write for one of my courses in college, and then I did not read for about a year and a half until we jumped into 2020, and that's only because it was mandatory for me to pass the content exam and become a full certified teacher. So it actually took one moment to actually inspire me to read a little bit more. So one day there was a random YouTube video that popped up. Can't remember the channel. Actually, I think the channel is called Alux, right? So, and I'll share about Alux later on. But pretty much, it showed a whole bunch of wealthy and rich people, right? And how they read often and how many hours they actually spent, right? And I think in this one particular video, I think it mentioned Mark Cuban. So it mentioned Mark Cuban, and I think another video popped up. It said Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, and I think Elon Musk, right? And Alux does a video where they pretty much talk about, this millionaire recommends these type of books to read, right, to become successful, right? So, so as they're showing these wealthy and rich people on the channel, they did mention that these individuals actually read over 50 books per year, right, which is crazy. 50 books, all right, and of course they spend multiple hours throughout the day reading, right? I think it mentioned that about I think it was either Mark Cuban or Bill Gates, one of them two, but they both spent a whole bunch of time. But in particular, Mark Cuban spent roughly about 3 to 4 hours a day on just reading, right? So according to the video and according what these millionaires said, they claim that reading has improved their knowledge and helped them find new ideas, right? And that constant reading will keep them on top of their game. So I found that really interesting. So after that, I realized, for me to become wealthy and one day hit that millionaire or / billionaire status, I have to educate myself in all sorts of ways, right? So automatically I registered for a library card, downloaded an app called Libby. So actually Libby, I'm not sure if Libby is known in other states, but Libby here in Texas is actually my local library, but in a downloadable app where they have ebooks, audiobooks from all sorts of different titles, subjects, and of course I just downloaded it and read my first book, right? And it was an ebook during that time. So actually the first book was actually How to Win at the Sport of Business by Mark Cuban. So that book took me, I think, about 2 weeks to finish. It was an okay and easy book to read because it was very, very thin. I think it only had a few chapters, but it was actually good, right? So after that, I actually wanted to read more. So I got my first physical book. And this physical book, it was Shoe Dog by Phil Knight, right? So those of you that been following me for quite a while, I recently did, I think it was about 2 to 3 months ago, I did a review over Shoe Dog by Phil Knight. So if you want to go ahead and check that out and my thoughts on reading that book. Now, when I recorded that video, it was my second time reading the book. All right, so I read it the first time during my very first time actually actively reading. All right, so of course we all know it's an amazing book, as I mentioned in my review. You know, it really sparked my interest to continue my reading journey. All right, and that's how it all started, guys. That's how it all started. You know, after that one book, I wanted to learn more. I started reading business books, started reading more bios, started reading self-development books, and I actually how to manage your money. So those are the type of books that I continue to read to this day. I believe I read over 50 books maybe from 2020 to 2024. And guys, it's been incredible. So here are the 5 reasons why you should start reading. All right, guys, so reason number 1 why you should start reading. All right, so number 1 is reading enhances your knowledge. All right, so reading books actively is one of the best tools to help improve your knowledge. All right, so you know, those experts, those authors, any expertise they have, they serve as our teacher. Of course, they're not our physical teacher because they're not physically there. That's why they transfer all their knowledge into the book. That way, individuals like you and I get the insights and actually learn from that particular topic. All right, so by reading a wide range of books, it will expand your general knowledge in general, right? So from health to finance, economics, entrepreneurship, it will fill your mind with new ideas, new information, and of course, new facts, right? So anything that you want to learn, guys, anything you're interested in, you want to build that foundation first and then work your way up from there, right? You know, build sort of a roadmap to get you there, right? So for example, if you just want to know the general knowledge of health, right? You want to know basically the basics of health. How does health work? You know, what are some things to do to stay healthy? And then you might build on that. Okay, I already know what it is to do healthy. What is the next step, right? What is the next level for me to take to learn more about that topic, right? So that's pretty much how reading enhances your knowledge. And of course, overall, guys, you will become an avid learner. And of course, by reading these books, it will encourage you to take action in your own life. All right, guys, so reason number 2, it improves your imagination and creativity, right? So reading books improves your imagination by bringing out new concepts and ideas, right? So it's the same thing, imagination, creativity, pretty much the same thing. So this plays a huge part in innovation, right? So without imagination and without creativity, humanity would not be able to improve in society, right? We wouldn't have the Elon Musk, we wouldn't have the Thomas Edisons, we wouldn't have the Albert Einsteins, any business or famous individual that you know, we wouldn't have them and based on their creations, right? Without their imagination, right? So most of them, if not half of them, got their creativity from reading books, right? So that's another reason why you should pick up reading. We need more people to think outside the box and not be afraid to take risk. And reason number 3. All right, so reading also improves your vocabulary, right? It expands your vocabulary. So any vocabulary skills, communication skills, by reading, this would tremendously improve. So by doing so the way it works is that, you know, as we're reading, we're exposed to a variety of words, right? We see a whole bunch of words. Some words are familiar, some are unfamiliar, and of course some are just out of the blue, right? So for me, when I see an unfamiliar word, and most of the time is unfamiliar, but for me, what I do is, you know, I immediately stop and try to actually see if I could sound out the word, or if I understand what the word is based on the context that I'm reading, right? So if I don't understand that particular word or this definition, what I do is actually I do a quick Google search and find out exactly what it means, right? So, you know, once you do a Google search, it pops up right there. I'll show an example here. It pops up and you see the microphone on the side, especially for those of you that do not know how to sound it out, or if you think that you pronounced it different, that microphone on the side would be an excellent tool for you. And that's what I use, right? So again, if you've seen my previous videos, growing up, I always had issues reading. Especially growing up, I wasn't a good reader. I had failed a grade back in elementary due to my reading skills, and of course now, fast forward to now, still not a good reader. I mean, I want to say not a good reader. I still am not good at pronouncing certain words, but I've gotten better, and you know why? It's because of reading. All right, so aside from that, reading also improves our conversation skills, right? So the way we carry ourselves, the way the ability to conversate with one another, it actually strengthens our language, and of course sharpens the structure of our sentence, right? So our ability to communicate one another. So overall, it makes you a better communicator, and of course you'll sound more intelligent, right? So that's another reason why you should start reading. Reason number 4. So reason number 4 on why you should read is the ability to make personal connections. Right. So the reason I wrote this down is because as a reader, whatever book you're reading, whatever topic it is, you're constantly making those personal connections with the writer, right? So, they're taking you on a little journey, whatever the journey is, whether how they start their business, or their downfalls or struggles, or actually when they became successful, they're taking you on a ride, right? So you're putting yourself in that moment. So every time I read, I feel like, I'm going back in time or into the future, right? It seems like my mind is hopping in a time machine and taking me to that exact location of what's going on in the book, which I really enjoy. So, it seems like, I don't know if you've seen it. I think it's probably in a whole bunch of animated cartoons, right, where they take that individual back in time and the person is there, but the action is going on, but they don't notice that you're standing there. You're seeing all the action going on, but to them you're not even existing, right? So pretty much that's what happens when I'm reading. I'm making that connection where, okay, I see where the writer is going with this. I see that he's putting me in that moment, and I feel like I'm visually seeing that what's going on, right? So that's probably one of the best connections you're gonna make as you're reading. You also on a personal connection, you're also resonating with the character's feelings, right? So whatever the character is feeling, whatever emotions they're going through, some form or shape, you experience that at some point in your life, right? So whether you were sad, happy, excited, upset, those all emotions as human beings we all could relate, right? So those are the connections as I'm reading the book. Those are the connections I'm constantly making with the writer, right? With the author. And of course, guys, overall, you learn so much about the character, right? For me, when I'm reading the bio, I learned so much about that particular individual that I did not know before. Why now I understand why they're doing this, or why they build this particular business or item, is because they put us in that moment of time, right? So but yeah, guys, you learn more about the character. You learn from different perspectives, not only the perspective of the character, but the perspective of other individuals in the book, other characters in the book. You learn about different attitudes, relationships, and of course different plots. Reason number 5. So reason number 5, reading actually helps exercise your brain, right? So the way that you exercise your body, right? Everybody should be exercising your body in some form or shape, right? The way you exercise your body to stay healthy, it functions the same way with our brains, right? So, that mental stimulation from reading actually helps improve your memory and learning capacity. So make sure that you're just putting in those reps. Make sure that you're exercising those neurons in your mind, because guys, as I mentioned in my other videos, our mind is going to be the best and powerful tool in our body, right? So, I wish that I could learn so much in one day, but of course, we only have 24 hours throughout the day. Majority of the time, we have to do other things, chores, work, and all that stuff. But if it was up to me, guys, I would dedicate my entire day just to learn, just to keep my neurons flowing, right? So yeah, guys, overall, put those reps in. Make sure that you're exercising your brain the same way you're exercising your body. All right. And guys, so my final thoughts, guys. So those are the 5 reasons why you should read. So guys, just read more. Keep on reading, guys. Whether you listen to audiobooks, ebooks, or physically reading, in my opinion, for me, of course, everybody's different. For me, the best way to read is actually in a physical book, right? Because for me, I'm going through it. I'm breaking down the sentences. I'm breaking down the story. I'm taking notes. I'm highlighting. I'm putting, my whole focus in that particular book, versus the audiobooks. Majority of the time when I listen to audiobooks, I do pick up a few things, but I'm constantly doing something as I'm doing the audiobook, right? Usually when I listen to audiobooks, it's usually when I'm exercising and I get lost, and then my mind wanders off somewhere. I think about something else, and then I don't know what's going on, right? So physical books are always going to be the best. Now, if you want to do ebooks, that is perfectly fine as well. I've done ebooks in the past. The only thing I don't like about ebooks is that, it's kind of hard, or I would say kind of difficult to stay focused, right? Because you're either using your laptop, you're using an iPad, Kindle. It's kind of difficult. But you know what? I might give it a try. Who knows? Because I'm buying a whole bunch of physical books. I'm writing in them. I'm dissecting them, and it's working for me. But it might be cheaper to go the ebook route. But who knows, guys? I might give it a try this year. Give myself either an iPad or a Kindle and see how that works out. But in the past, it kind of distracted me because I used the Libby app, and with the Libby app, you could download the ebooks for a certain amount of time. But I was never able to finish them because I get distracted, right? So again, it's your choice, whatever option you want to go with, whether it's audiobooks, ebooks, or if you're like me, physical books. All right. So aside from that, guys, make sure that you find your genre, right? Whatever you're interested in: health, business, bios, self-development books, nonfiction, fiction books, whatever the case is. Pick the genre, focus on the genre, and then move on to the next one, right? Because as avid learners, you want to actually expand your general knowledge, right? So that's just my recommendation. And guys, make reading a habit, right? Those of you that are starting off, if you want to start reading 10-15 minutes a day just to start off, right? Read 10-15 minutes a day, or you want to do a chapter a day just to get it going, right? So after that, gradually increase the time, right? So if you're doing 10 to 15 minutes, move it up, bump it up, 5 minutes, 10 minutes more each week, and then of course long before you're reading for an hour and a half. So yeah, guys, make it a habit of reading at least every day, right? So you'll start to enjoy it. Just like me, I enjoy it a lot. I enjoy, without reading, I feel like my day is not complete. sometimes there'll be time throughout the day that you can't get a full chapter in, or you can't read for a full 15 minutes, but at least reading for 5 minutes, guys, that'll be perfect, right? And I promise you'll feel better, right? By reading, you'll feel better, and you'll even think better. All right. So our mind, as I mentioned, is our most powerful and precious tool in our body. Let's continue to work on it. We should always, should strive to keep developing our minds. And also, you want to have a general knowledge, like I said in the beginning of the video. You want, just like Mark Cuban, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, you want to have a general knowledge of different topics, right? Especially if you want to become wealthy one day, right? So becoming wealthy should be everybody's goal in life, right? Because we all want to be wealthy in some form of way. And the last thing before I leave you guys, never stop learning, all right? Continue learning, guys. Continue to always strive to be the best. That's what I'm doing right now, guys. That's why I'm documenting my life. I'm showing y'all things that I'm doing. I'm showing, I'm not in that wealthy zone yet, but when I get there, I could relate back to these videos, and hopefully I encourage somebody out there to do the same, right? So my advice, and advice that I heard from different entrepreneurs online, is to never stop learning. All right. So guys, that is it. Those are my 5 reasons why you should read. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment below. Let me know what you think. Anything that I miss about reading. And that is it, guys. Have a good one. I see y'all later. Peace.